The Beat 139 featuring Doc, Don Vito, and Keith Cash. Harlem's number one show.
Good evening tonight. I'm your host. I'm Mark, and I'm here with my co-host,
Noah.
and we are featuring.
Kwan.
Tristan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Krista.
And I'm Chris.
And Noah, you would like to start us off, actually.
So our topics of today would be New York crime and horror movies. To start off, what are you guys' opinions on New York's crime rates?
My opinion on it is there's it went up, like it went up recently, and it seems like it's not ending. It seems like there's like a crime every single day.
Personally, I feel like that crime is ever rising in New York City, especially with like some of the dangerous things going on. Like my school, it's over on 124th, and recently we just had a smoke shop get shot up, and it was like this whole big deal like a year ago, and like people were worried that like the kids weren't going to get home safely. My parents are always bugging me, like they don't believe the streets are safe. They always want me home at a certain time, or they always want to know where I am. And sometimes I don't get it, but like now that I see crime is like people walking around shady and stuff, like you really got to look out sometimes.
Like to agree with Mark there. I mean, New York crime is very, very horrible. I mean, there's a bunch of crimes happening every day, all types of crimes too, but mainly you see the crimes happening with the kids on the street, and the teenagers. So that's the main things that's happening in New York.
I feel like in New York, I see crackheads and my siblings see them. So very young kids, and it's a problem in New York, not just in New York, the whole world. Schools getting shot up. So your children and every child is just in danger, and it's disgusting.
I mean, crime is, we all know it's like really, really bad, and it's getting worse and worse by the day. But if you think about it, crime is kind of like what led us all here. Like, crime helps us, make up our own ideas on how to make stability. So without crime, do you really think we would be as stable as we are now?
I feel like when it comes to situations like that, you cannot find triumph if there isn't a problem to face. And so like I feel like when it comes to crime, then there's certain situations where like you have to take a look at what people are doing, take a look at the society we live in, and really just reflect on yourself. What can you do to make that society better? What can you do to do better? And what can you do to make sure the people around you are safe?
I agree with Mark with that because seeing bad things happen makes you more aware and your kids more aware of the bad things that are going on. So it's better, honestly.
But a lot of people, they say that and then they don't do anything. They just sit and watch it when they say they're going to try to stop it, or other people need to stop it when they're not trying to themselves.
Well, I mean, to add on to what you said there, I mean, some people, when you try to stop some things, it's going to be very hard out in these streets. I mean, if you do try to stop some people, there's people in New York that are very, very mentally deranged, that have mental disabilities. So some people might be afraid to step in and try to stop those crimes because, well, what might happen to them? Yes, it will be hard on them because they're letting another human being get hurt, but every day in New York, it's a person for themselves. That's how I think about it.
Honestly, I don't think you can necessarily stop crime. Crime is something that you can control. And the reason for that is because as long as the laws can always bend to somebody's will, it's as easy as it can easily be broken like that. So I don't think crime is something that you can stop. One person or even millions of people can stop. It's just something that you need to control.
I feel like with that topic, it depends on the person and the time because different crimes happen. It's not just one crime. So I agree with you, but I also disagree in a way.
Um, but you said like it depends on the type of people, right? Um, when it comes to certain people, there's also certain demographics about like the type of people that are assumed to commit crimes,
Stereotype.
stereotypes. And like I know most of the time, most people assume it's the African American community that is committing these crimes, which is a very stereotypical stereotype, but like it's something we hear about often. News, other things, and like really, we may not all of us commit crimes. I'm gonna admit there are a few of us that might commit crimes, and I won't say that like I will be trusting of everybody who's the same color as me. But I will say like I am smart enough to know that not everybody who looks like me is a bad person. And I'm not gonna automatically assume they're a bad person just because they look a certain way. I'm gonna give everybody I know the benefit of the doubt unless it can like put me in a certain situation.
Yes, I understand that. I wasn't talking about that. I'm basically saying that you can tell if someone's on drugs, and I'm not gonna like get benefit of the doubt based on what they look like and stuff they cannot control. I would never.
In my opinion, if we're talking about crime rates going up, we have to look at this generation. This generation has influenced crime so much with simple things such as the music that's been created. There's a lot of drill, and in those songs, it's so many bad things being talked about that those people influence because that's how they live their life, which is bad, and that causes other kids and teenagers to want to go do those things even though it's not good.
Yeah, even some of my siblings have gone down the wrong path. I have a lot of siblings and kids, especially kids that are my age, smoke and do all that stuff. And yeah, it definitely influences. I definitely agree with you.
Well, back to what you said about they say how African Americans do, they assume that they do the crime. Sometimes I think like sometimes African Americans don't expect them to do that when right now, like if you look at the race of the people who are on the news over doing something just in New York City, it's mostly African Americans. So sometimes it's like you expect not to be as you expect them not to assume, but it's most of them doing it.
Well, back to what you said there. I mean, just as I think any human being is capable of committing a crime, but what we see in New York, like back to what Mark said, it's mainly in these communities with African Americans, not to be racist here, but it's mainly what we call hoodlums, people that go around gang banging stuff and have weapons on them. So, yes, I mean, you could say that a white person could commit a crime because that's true. But in New York, in basically in Harlem, it's more of the young African Americans who are going around committing these crimes.
See, I don't know if I agree with you because it doesn't really matter. It just depends if you do the crime or not. But I feel like it really matters on like the parents and the way you grow up.
Uh, well, that's true, but I feel like sometimes people just bring up race when they do it. When they like when a crime is committed, I feel like people outside they kind of bring up race when they say like the African man or they assume or something. They kind of bring up that conversation.
I have a question for y'all. I think it was. Have y'all ever heard of the situation in Central Park with, I believe, five black men or five black young men?
The Central Park Five, yeah.
Yeah, basically, they were in Central Park at the same time. A woman, I think she was dead, right? Her
She
dead,
also got raped.
her body, she was confirmed dead, and there was evidence of her being raped. Those five men just happened to be in the area at the time, and just so happened to be picked out by police, and they were subjected to police brutality, and they were subjected to other forms of attention, which did not put them in good light. So not only did this affect their lives negatively, but this affected the people around them. And like situations like these really show like how like unfair it could be to people of color out there. Cause like it could be hard, you could be picked out just because of your color, your looks, the way you walk, the way you talk, or like some of the people you hang around.
No, going off of that, maybe 2 or 3 years back. Now, obviously I'm like older than you guys, and I also look a lot older than people my age as well, from what people have told me. And about 2 or 3 years back, I was walking with my friends. We were going to school. We took the same train because we both live in the same area. By the time we get around the school, because just about 2 blocks away, there was a shooting around there. Somebody was just running around and just shooting. From what I heard, I wasn't in the school. We were at the park when it happened. But the day after that, when we were walking to school, we were stopped by uh, a cop because apparently, from what I seen, my friend had a whole bunch of money. He was showing us like what he was doing and how he got all of that money. And then all of a sudden, we all three of us were just stopped, and we're like, "Where do you get that? What have you been doing? Where are you going?" Stuff like that. And at first, it didn't click until I got home, and I told my parents about that, and we're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's just all stereotypes." And like stereotypes will always be instilled into somebody's life, good or bad stereotypes. It doesn't matter. That's
Because
all I want to say.
at the end of the day, anybody can do something wrong. There's people who do good and bad in all different races, and all of us, we all have bias or prejudice against someone or something, whether it's conscious or unconscious. But like things like that, like stopping people just because you see them with money, is not right.
Yeah, going off of race, a couple of years ago, like when I was very young, a black man got killed for something he didn't even do, and I saw it on the news with my mom. And like stuff like that didn't even happen back then. It was in like the 1960s, and that's not that long. My mom was born in 1970. That is not that long ago. And I feel like a lot of kids need to still watch videos because there's videos up there of people getting hit, whipped, of literally because they wanted the rights.
Um, to actually speak on rights and actually what people will fight for is like it's crazy to think about how like 80 or I said 80 40 years ago 50 60 years ago we would not be seen in the same light as white people. There was segregation, we didn't have equal voting rights, and things weren't fair. And it's and sometimes like just thinking about it for a moment, it makes me happy like knowing that how far like our people colored people have come and like people who have earned the respect through fighting different ways. And then like it's not always physical either because there has been some outstanding people in our communities who have shown what they wanted through just sheer voice of power and just willpower alone.
Is that all on this topic?
No, I have something to say. Basically, what I was gonna say is there was this one time where I was walking with my friend and there was like this guy. He came up to us and she's a person of color, right? He hit her and then blamed it on me and then the whole school thought I was racist. And this happened when I was only in 5th grade, so I was 10. And this girl, she was already in 6th grade. She was my best friend and I still have her contact. Well, my sister does, but yeah, it was because then I got bullied, and then the same guy he talked about touching me, and then when I told the teacher, he everyone called me racist, and I almost got beaten up for that in 5th grade.
That's honestly, yeah, it's pretty dark and messed up.
That's deep.
Yeah. In terms of like connecting that to our topic, like that's honestly crazy how like somebody could do one thing and immediately after everybody's just gonna believe them just because of the way like we look, how things look, and like just how they're seen in the light. Just because they have more of a following, they believed him so quickly, and then like you just got the brunt of the attack of something he did.
Yeah, I feel like race is still going on, and people still talk about it like it didn't happen that long ago. People are really disgusting nowadays. It's still going on. Nothing is really changed.
Yeah. Chris, do you have something to add on?
This is more of like a side tangent. I think I don't know if this is how all people do it, but like with racism in general or stereotypes, a lot of people just make fun of it because it's just like a way to cope with the world that we're living in, or it's trying to tell other people that like it can't possibly be that bad, stuff like that. That's all I wanted to say. Like, if you ever listen to comedians, like a big comedians like maybe Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle, they always talk about stuff about race and whatnot, and it's always kind of funny to hear that sometimes. I think that's like it may not be a good thing, but I think in a way it helps people build some sort of confidence to like not and try and not be that stereotype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Actually, I wanted to move on to another topic that correlates with this. Dark humor. We've all experienced it. We've all heard of it, and some of us have actually even be real. I say a lot of dark humor.
I
Eh,
agree with that.
Um, it'd be funny at times, but then like when you stop to think about it, like this makes you realize like these are the jokes you make, but then like when you actually think about the jokes you're making, they really hit different from like what you're actually saying in the moment. Sure, I'm gonna get like some good laughs out of my friends for like a joke that's like bad, but like when I really think about it outside of my friends, like I shouldn't have said that. Like, that wasn't necessary.
To be honest, I can't bring myself to make jokes like that. I'm not a funny person, but I can't. My friend has cried. She's Asian on 3 different occasions by people making fun of the race she is by just saying jokes about it, and I can't.
Um, well, Tristan, would you like to speak?
I mean, it goes to show how immature people are these days. I mean, like what she said about her friend. Sorry for that happening to your friend, but I mean, it shows what goes on in our country, not just our country, but the world. People making fun of each other's races are very common. And is it okay? No, it's not. But I think like what one of y'all said is somewhat a coping mechanism. You could say that.
Um, oh, sorry. Um, it was one day at school. I think this was last year. Yeah, it was last year. We had a substitute teacher come over in Spanish. Right? She ain't know nothing. We were just giving a packet, and yeah, that was everything until like the last 20 minutes. She told us about her experience at another school. Don't remember the name of the school. Even if I did, I wouldn't say it because like I'm not trying to out the kids. And then like and she was talking about how like the kids would joke around, calling each other monkeys, um, hard R's, different other types of words like tree climbers and all this other different types of stuff. And yeah, it's funny. We was dying laughing when we first heard it for the first time because like to come up to be real, it's creative. It's creative, but people using their creativity for the wrong things. Like people be calling each other like voodoo monkeys.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, that one was crazy. And then like yeah, it just be crazy.
Mark,
bro.
come on. Let's skip it. Let's skip it.
Oh, man. I gotta say something. This was like back when I was in 7th grade, and um, and the reason it was so funny was because of the way people reacted to this. They were like, so I had like some German friends back in 7th grade, and I had some Jewish friends as well. And there was this point in time where when I went over them because they all sat at like different tables, and I just decided I want to spend my lunch here with them because they're kind of funny. Now, mind you, it was all 9/11 jokes and stuff like that, but that day when I went over, they were like, today we're gonna start building a camp. You want to join? And then you were like, why don't you just can you go over and grab Tiff? And Tiff was one of my friends that was Jewish at the time. Well, she is Jewish at the time, but
I think I know where this is going.
And when I went over there, I said Oscar said he wanted to talk to you, and she was like, and I didn't realize this at first, but she was crying and laughing because they were talking about making a Holocaust, and they were going to be the victims.
Going on to that, I am Jewish. I identify as Christian, but topics like that I don't like. My whole family is Jewish. It's disgusting, and I'm sorry to say this, but you shouldn't have been hanging out with those people.
I mean, we really can't choose what the people we hang out with say. We can only like, help them out when it comes to saying certain things. I'm gonna be real. I need to work on it because like the friends I hang around with, they're funny. I'm gonna give them that, but the things they say isn't really the best. And like at times I'll be like, "Yo, chill," because like they ain't deserve all of that. And then like got this one kid in class. Not gonna say his name. They make fun of him a lot because of his his size. Um, they talk about how he could take up 3 chairs at once. It's not the nicest. It's not nice at all. And like I get why it's funny because like sometimes it'd be at random, sometimes it'd be out of pocket, and being out of pocket at times could be hilarious. Cause like say like you sit in class one moment and your friend just say the most random stuff, y'all know y'all would laugh. I'm looking at y'all too. Y'all
Yeah.
know y'all would laugh.
I would laugh, but making fun of something, well, they can control their weight, but making fun of someone for something they can't control, it makes them want to change themselves. And that, I'm sorry to say this, but that ends in people committing suicide and their mental health can drop. So, yeah.
How are like your schools all have like roast competitions and whatnot, right? This was in 8th grade. We were at prom, and uh, during prom, I came across these two people just yelling at each other, and then all of a sudden, he said some of the most out of pocket thing. Like he was talking about his cranium being large, the braids pulling his thoughts to the back of his cerebral cortex, all that stuff.
See, this is a different level of creativity like I've never even heard of. Oh,
We got a caller.
yeah, we have a caller if you would like to pick that up. Please introduce yourself and welcome to the Beat the Streets program.
My name is Edward. I want to know what you guys learned from the program.
Yes, on speaker.
Speak about another broadcaster.
Hello?
Please.
Just hold it. I think it's
Nope, not an
No.
option. Just so you please repeat your question to us.
I want to know what you guys learned through the program.
So in this program, a lot of people when they first joined, they weren't actually. A lot of people came because they didn't know how to speak properly to other people, and the program actually helps us a lot when it comes to our speaking skills. Like when I first started, sure I knew how to speak to people, but like now I know how to interact with people, really like speak to them better. And it teaches us how to focus on podcasting, how to really entice the people we are trying to appeal to, and it also teaches us a bunch more about how we should handle ourselves in society. Like it's okay to have interesting topics such as the one we have. It's just you have to be able to like get serious in the moment. You have to be able to lock in and like understand like what you are saying is like seriously important, and like the topics we are talking about can really impact what people think because we are broadcasting to the world. If
Right.
anybody else has
for
Well-
for me. I kind of came to like be around new people and kind of open myself up and like kind of like talk louder. And I feel like from it first started and now, I think I made an improvement because now I'm more like open to talk to different people, and now I can like speak up more and speak and say what I think and explain things more complex.
To
I
add on-
understand what he's saying because I joined this program to like try to talk better because I've been like people have told me that I haven't been able to act like a normal human being because I can't have normal conversations with people because I struggle to speak with people. And it really helps me learn how to communicate and know what to say in different situations. And it can also help me with school because I know how to speak to my teachers properly.
to add on to Mark, like this helps with your speaking and how to open up to people like Juan said, and it also helps to ask questions and get to know more about people.
Yeah, I'm sure most of us before here were introverts. Myself, I'll call myself a good public speaker. Just I'll get a little nervous sometimes. But D, I would like to thank you for calling. Have a good evening. All right.
Have a good evening. Oh,
Some money, anything, because I like what y'all doing, and I would definitely like to donate to the program.
Um, if you're watching, because we know like you called us from the live stream, up in the top left corner, our cash app is right there. You can send money and donate there. We appreciate your contribution, and we greatly appreciate you calling us tonight and giving us, in my opinion, a really great question about what we do, and shows appreciation for what we do.
thank you.
Yeah. Good night, D.
Have a great night.
Okay. So now let's move on to a more interesting topic. Let's talk about horror movies.
Yay!
What a change of scenery from what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
What were we
Um,
talking about again?
Doesn't matter. Let's horror movies. Actually, yeah, we can integrate our previous topics into this.
Really?
So yeah, we all know like the stereotypical horror movies, right? The black guy dies first. Let's all be real.
I wait. Pause.
Wait,
Pause.
have
Pause.
you
Wait.
guys
Wait.
heard
Wait.
that-
Wait. 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 Listen, I don't think the black guy dies first, more.
In
I'm-
my personal opinion, the white guy always dies first.
No, wait, wait, wait,
That's
wait,
only
wait, wait,
because-
wait. It doesn't matter what race. If you die first, you die first.
Look,
Okay.
look, wait. I just got one thing to say. It really depends on the type of horror movie we're going for. If we're doing slashers, it's always the dumb blonde that dies first.
No, but like in certain situations, like
Isn't there a horror movie where this girl pretends to be like black guy girlfriends and then kills them?
yes,
That movie.
Get Out.
That goes into our conversation. I watched that movie and I think it's crazy because there was like because they like ripped their body parts apart to give it to themselves because they thought black people were stronger. And there was like this he was blind and then he wanted a black guy's eyes and that goes to the main character.
I don't even think like they ripped the bodies apart. They just did some voodoo magic and like started making their minds like, oh, like because he
Yeah.
started tripping out when he started the TV. He put the things in his ears, and the reason why he ain't like go mad and like insane and stuff like is because of the fact that he was, he had the things in his.
It was
ear.
the mother with the teacup. She like put a spell on him and they do actually operate on them. I don't know who did it, but they actually did operate
It was
on
the
them.
dad.
And what
It-
horror movie are we talking about, guys?
Get Out.
Get Out.
Get Out. That is.
Get
it was
Out.
actually a really good movie. I seen it, and at first I was so confused on what's happening, until I got to the end of it. I'm like, oh,
Actually, something I like to talk about is that specific movie director has really great like movies that really push like black people into the spotlight.
Us.
Like he made Get Out, Us, Nope.
I
And then,
love
like-
the Us movie. Such a great movie.
Nope was one of the recent. I love that movie.
What
Love that movie.
what is your guys' favorite horror movie series or just movie?
I like Smile too. I've been really into it lately.
Don't bash your head in with the mic, please. Like the movie. Like we honestly do not want to see that or experience that on the live.
I'm not crazy.
I like Pennywise. I think it's very underrated. They built such a strong relationship with the characters before they died, which made you like be more interested in and not want them to die.
Mine is either Scream or Halloween because it has multiple movies and they're like
My personal favorite is Scary Movies, the franchise.
that's not a
Um,
scary movie.
Get Out.
It's hilarious. It's a horror movie that's funny.
Well, I guess I have to agree with Mark here. I mean, I have multiple favorite movies, but I recently watched a scary movie, and it was a great movie.
Some people actually don't like this one a lot, but I really love Saw. That's my favorite one.
Oh, I saw it.
Okay, so
Oh.
that's all for today at Beat the Streets 139.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks
Yeah,
for coming.
have a good night, everyone.
Have a
Love
great
ya.
night.